He was great and a contemporary, and he was in touch with all open horizons. And how well he understood the melody, the cadence of water and earth, the accent in the splash, the gurgling. He went as far as the edge, and behind the patience of lights, he stretched out and thought not a thought about us. How lonely we remained in the eating of one apple from the tree of knowledge. I am Soroush Karamani, a member of the architecture faculty of the West Valley College in Saratoga. I am speaking on behalf of the architecture students, faculty, and as a member of the American Institute of Architects. I met Christopher Clancy for the first time in the spring of 2006 when I started my new teaching position at West Valley College. There was instant chemistry between us. Both of us had immense interest in architecture and higher education. When I began to work for West Valley College, our architecture program needed an overhaul. Chris was always beside me. Together and with other colleagues' help, we updated our curriculum, incorporated technology into pedagogy, and then focused on articulation agreements with other higher education institutions. We worked very diligently to get where we are today. This year, 3 of our students have been admitted to prestigious master's program at the California College of Arts and San Francisco Art Academy, and 15 of them have been admitted to undergraduate programs at UC Berkeley, Cornell University, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, University of Miami, and Southern California Institute of Architecture, to mention some. I quote from Andrew Chandler, the Dean of the School of Art and Design, who is himself an architect. I knew Chris for 4 years, and he always struck me as a man who was dedicated fully to his students and to West Valley College. He was always there to volunteer and always the one to be available when help was needed. Never once in the last 4 years did he say no to me. In fact, sought out ways to be more engaged and helpful. I was very fond of his acute intellect and chuckled when he would throw theoretical curveballs at me to challenge my thinking on architecture and design. He mostly succeeded at that. He was sharp. He was a consummate professional. He was an architect with a capital A. His students will miss him. I will miss him. We all will. Chris devoted his life to architectural practice and education. He enjoyed his classes and his students so much that he often extended his class hours even more than its scheduled period. It was not unusual for him to hold his classes until over 10 p.m. In 2018 and 19, he worked with some of his students on West Valley College fashion show display. Chris was always available to them and attended their meetings. He was involved in many extracurricular activities throughout the college. I will now quote from one of Chris's students, Chun Win. Still in my mind clearly that there was an image of a man who was always in black, walked with his students all the way up to hill, stayed with his students under the hot, dried, sunny weather, and waited for the judges to come over at Design Village every year. There was also an image of a man who used to be willing to stay with his students late, some days until 3, 4 a.m., regardless, working on preparing for the shows. There was a word he told me, unforgettably, Chun, you are failed this time, fix it, when I made mistakes as working on the fashion show last year. I wish I could hear his word as just one more time. Chris was very kind, gentle, generous, and never confrontational. He was always optimistic. He praised and liked every design. When I asked him, Chris, what do you think about the Fox building at West Valley College? He responded, I like it. And actually, I would like to write an article about it in the Architectural Record magazine. It was easy for him to see the glass half full. Some of us were not that proud of the exterior aesthetic of that building at our campus. Chris started his career at West Valley College Architecture program as an adjunct faculty member in 2004. Since then, he taught 2 courses every semester without interruption, while practicing architecture at his firm, and prior to that at the Sugimura firm as project manager. He served for many years at the West Valley College Academic Senate, representing associate faculty members. I quote a colleague, this is horrible news, and any consolation I could offer would be laughable. I worked with Chris quite a bit on the Academic Senate. I very much valued his often wry commentary on the news of the day, as well as his always incisive questions. He was a phenomenal advocate for both full and part-time faculty, and an important ally for anything that put students first. While I know that the best what we can do is to celebrate his contributions to our college and our lives, I can't help but notice how diminished West Valley College will be with his loss, said Eric Pape, former West Valley College Academic Senate President. He was the AIA Student Club advisors for many years. He attended the Design Village competition at the Cal Poly San Luis Obispo with our students every year. Chris was not only teaching, he mentored the students. He hired students and established friendship with them. At the end of most semesters, he organized parties at his office or at a restaurant. He always counted on my presence, which I attended every time with pride and pleasure. I believe that I speak for all architecture faculty, students, and the entire campus community when I say that the world is a much better place because of Chris's contributions. He touched us all so positively, and so did